Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Teresa. This is Lost My Thread. It has been a full 3 weeks since I last put a video out, and I felt like I needed to do a bit of a catch up just to tell you guys where I've been and what I've been up to. So it has been a full 3 weeks since I last put a video out, which is definitely the longest I've ever gone without putting a video out on my channel. And I feel a little bit out of practice. I feel a little bit unsure about where to even start. So I felt like it made sense just to catch up with you guys, tell you a little bit about what I've been up to, where I've been, and what I have planned. So I'm going to start with where have I been for the last 3 weeks? Why haven't I been on this channel? Now, I had plans at the beginning of February to put out a January makes video. I made a ton of stuff in January, lots of really good stuff, cool stuff that I really wanted to share with you guys, and I was so excited to make that video, and life had other plans. I am a midwife, if you are not aware of that one. I work for the NHS in the UK. And there was an evening after I'd worked all day from 8 till 6 that I then got a phone call at midnight that there was a woman in labor planning a home birth who needed me to go out to her. I went out to her with one of my colleagues. Now, the actual birth, I will say, was all wonderful, beautiful. Everything went really well. It was a really positive experience. I was ready to get back to my car at around 7 a.m. with all the equipment, had to go back to the hospital to finish all the paperwork. And I found that the passenger side window of my car had been smashed and a few things had been stolen. Now, I don't keep anything valuable in my car. The only thing that annoyed me a little bit, just on a personal level, is there was a sewing pattern, a PDF pattern that I printed and cut out, some scissors, and some pins. So sewing scissors and pins. Now, these things were not expensive by any means, but it just felt a little bit personal in that way. But in all honesty, they didn't get anything very good. I more just didn't like the hassle, and it felt like such a downer after such a positive experience that somebody had broken into my car and basically given me a whole lot of work to do. So I ended up brushing the broken glass off of the driver's seat, driving home on the highway with a smashed window on the passenger side in cold weather. It was about 40 degrees Fahrenheit, so not very far above freezing. It was cold, it was not very pleasant. And then I also had to try and get the window sorted out. I think I ended up having to get it done the day after rather than that morning because nobody was able to come out the same day. But again, just hassle that I didn't really need. And I do think that staying up so long and then probably being in the cold weather didn't really help me. It seems that my body was trying to fight off COVID and failed. So I came down with COVID-19. I tested positive 2 days after the home birth, which is the first time in the whole pandemic that I've actually caught it, which I'm pretty amazed by. I mean, I've been full vaxxed. I've had 4 vaccines, been doing my best with social distancing and masks and all that kind of stuff, but I certainly haven't been wearing masks in my day-to-day life, only at work. And I know that I have been exposed to, I've looked after patients who later tested positive for COVID. I've been with staff in my car, in the office, who then later tested positive for COVID, and I still managed to get by until now, but none of us are going to get by forever, I know. And so I did end up getting pretty sick. I mean, I certainly wasn't seriously ill, but I would say I had moderate symptoms. My main issue was just that I was coughing a lot, and I was coughing a lot at night, in particular when I was laying down, which meant that I was waking myself up in the night, not getting the rest that I needed. But I have come out the other end and I'm feeling loads better. But I will say that that lingering lethargy, that exhaustion is still very much there, and that's part of what's taking me a little bit longer to be able to make a video. Additionally, I was pretty congested, not sounding very pleasant. I didn't think it was the right time to be catching you guys up with what I'm doing, but I'm feeling a whole lot better now, and I thought it would be nice to tell you what I've been doing. Now, as far as sewing, I certainly haven't been as productive in February as I was in January. I did actually make a few t-shirts though. So I made some Concord tees by Cashmere, which is my favorite t-shirt pattern. I made them with the aim of making some graphic tees. So I got a Cricut Joy for Christmas. If you're not familiar with the Cricut, it's basically a die cutting machine, and it can cut out shapes onto cards, paper, but also onto laminates, and I'm doing some iron-on transfer. So I've been designing some things to put onto some t-shirts. I think they're fun, and I do want to share my experience with you guys, so I'm planning to make a video about that. I have to say, I am not someone who is sponsored by Cricut. I'm not somebody who is given anything for free. I got this as a Christmas present from family all pitching in, and I'm very much just some regular Joe like you guys having a go with it. But I see so many sponsored videos about the Cricut, I feel like it's not actually very indicative of what it's like to use it as just a regular person. So I thought it would be interesting to make a video just about my experiences as someone who is not very experienced in it, who doesn't really know what they're doing, and telling you how the process was for me. So that is a video that I will be planning to put out at some point. But I made 3 t-shirts, and I will say with my COVID fog, I messed up the neckline on 2 of the t-shirts. One of them I ended up messing up, I think 2 times. My brain was just not where it normally is. And I will say, when I was in the process of sewing those t-shirts, I was feeling largely better from COVID, but I ended up feeling about 30 minutes into it, I started just feeling really nauseous and really off. And I ended up just switching the sewing machine off and just putting my head down and just sitting in my sewing chair for about 5 minutes before I got the energy to actually tidy it up and go and sit on the couch again, because the lethargy is just real, guys, with COVID. Anyone who's had it, you know, every little thing that is not a big thing at all just wipes you out completely. So I am slowly getting back to doing normal things. I do have some good plans though. So I managed at the beginning of February to cut out a couple of projects. One is the Maya Soda's dress by Deer and Doe. This is a corduroy dress that I designed, or I planned in my winter sewing plans video, so it's a hack that I'm doing of that dress. I'm planning to do it long sleeve, and I'm planning to make it quite long. I think it's going to be really cool, and I'm looking forward to working on that when I have the energy to do it. The other thing that I cut out is the Marlowe cardigan by True Bias. When I put out my January Makes video, you will see I actually made a Marlowe cardigan in January. So clearly, spoiler, I liked it if I'm making another one. But part of what's exciting about the one that I've cut out for this time round, so for this month, is I'm actually going to be sewing it up with some sewing friends. So I have a couple of sewing friends. One is my friend Annette, who I've talked about on my channel before. She's been on my channel before. I am teaching her to sew. So she hadn't sewed before she met me. Only recently she's piqued an interest. We've been friends for about 11 years, so I don't know what's taken her so long, but she's decided she wants to learn to sew. And she's made 2 garments with me before, and this will be her 3rd garment, and I'm really excited to work on it with her. And then I have another friend who I met from one of the London sewing meetups who's going to meet up with the 2 of us, so all 3 of us are going to make the same pattern. We're all going to be making the Marlowe cardigan, all using completely different fabrics. I think it's going to be a really fun day, and so not only are we going to come out with something cool at the other end, but just have a nice day of socializing. As far as what else I have planned in general, I am planning to make some wall hangings. So this is something that I've had in the back of my mind for a long time. This space behind me, I feel like needs something there. It needs a little punch of color, not only for my videos, but more importantly, honestly, for when I'm sewing. It just cheers me up to have nice colorful things around me. And I have loads of really beautiful scrap fabrics that are just sitting there without anything to do with them. And I have plans for 2 different wall hangings. I've got ideas and designs in mind. And so I do want to make some videos to talk you guys through the process of how I put those together and then how I actually hang them on the wall as well. So my hope is to have 2 different wall hangings that I can then change out, which gives me a bit of variety, and I can also have the other one hanging somewhere else in the room just to cheer the space up in general. If you watched my sewing resolutions video, you will know that there are 23 things that I've been planning to work on throughout 2023. And at the beginning of January, I started the 30-day yoga journey from Yoga with Adriene, and I managed to do yoga for the full 30 days every single day, so I managed to cross that off of my list. If you guys are subscribed to my channel, you probably would have seen in my community tab, I have been posting when I've been crossing things off of that list. I've also done a flotation in a flotation tank, which is something that I did years ago, about 20 years ago, and really wanted to do again and really enjoyed the experience. It was so relaxing, mostly on my joints and muscles, but also relaxing on my mind. I also had a meetup with sewing friends face-to-face. I've actually had that a couple of times already at the beginning of the year. And like I said, I've got another one planned this week. So I think it's going to be a bit of a year for sewing meetups in general. And then the other thing that I've started is rereading an old favorite book. So whilst I've been sick, I thought it would be nice to read something that I know I'm going to enjoy. And I've been feeling all of the nostalgic feels for reading a book that I absolutely loved as a teenager. I've reread it many times in my life, but it's been a good long while since I've read it, and I'm really enjoying tucking into that good book. As far as what I'm planning on the channel, the next video I'm hoping to get out to you guys is my January makes video, because I have some really cool stuff that I want to show you, but I actually need to take photos of a lot of those things. Because I didn't get time in January, I was planning to take a lot of photos in early February, and then I got sick. I am behind in photographing my makes, and I really like to be able to show you guys what I'm talking about in those makes videos. So I want to get those photos done before I can put the video up, but that should be hopefully coming soon. And then I really want to talk to you guys about my experience of making some graphic tees. I think they're going to be super cool, and I think it would be really fun to talk to you guys about what that process has been like. I don't like to get too far ahead of myself as far as plans, because, you know, like I found life changes and sometimes I end up doing other things that I wasn't necessarily anticipating. But let me just tell you guys, I have lots of plans, things that I'm really excited about, both in my sewing practice, but also for my channel, and I really hope that you guys will be here following along. So let me know what you've been up to over the last few weeks. Let me live vicariously through you, seeing as I haven't been able to do too much. I hope if anyone else is sick as well, that you are feeling much better soon, whether it's COVID or something else. There is just so much going around right now. If you're not sick, somebody in your life probably is. And I know for myself, when I can't even sew or craft, it just hurts doubly hard because I'm not doing the things that bring me joy in my day to day. So I'm really happy to be back here with you guys. I'm really happy to be sewing again, and I cannot wait to bring out some more videos to you guys soon. Please make sure that you liked my video if you enjoyed having this little catch up with me. Definitely not my typical video, but I thought it made sense for today for the first time back. Please do make sure you're subscribed to my channel if you want to see upcoming videos, because I have a lot of good stuff planned. And I hope to see you all very soon. Bye!